Ours, all the heathens forbidden, the chosen, bow down to no one. It was written. The men above me shout, Boom Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Boom Yasha. Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments, God of the Bible. The men above me shout, Boom Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Boom Yasha. Kingdom's ours, all the heathens forbidden, the chosen, bow down to no one. It was written. The men above me shout, Boom Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Boom Yasha.
Hey, what up? It's your girl, China Monet. Miss, I cook, I clean, I fuck, I shut up. Thursday, April 18th, is going down the annual ISUPK under Commanding General Yana's All Black Party at the Durham Armory. Doors open at 8 p.m. featuring live music and DJ by Party Boy Ticket. It's the annual concert series, and it's gonna be a movie. I need y'all to pull up or shut up. I shut up. Submissive women in demand too. Dripping out the magnum, pussy ran through. That's why your baby daddy can't stand you. Keep some clothes on, leave them curious. That's why these niggas don't take you serious. I cook, I clean, I fuck, I shut up. Submissive women in demand too.
Hey, shalom, sis. That means peace. How you doing tonight?
Shalom, I'm gracious. How are you?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. China Monet, everybody. We're having an enormous event in North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, in April. This is our annual Passover event.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
from
I would love to be a part.
Shalom, Israel. The ISUPK is hosting the Lord's 55th annual Passover with an all-access pass to the Lamb Slaughter, all-black party, scripture breakdown class, kids party, the Lord's 55th annual Passover, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com, starting with April 17th events with the Lamb Slaughter at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in North Carolina. Make sure that you get involved. Make sure that you're in the house at 1921 Strickland Road, Clayton, North Carolina. Followed up on April 18th, Thursday, the all-black party, ISUPK concert series in Durham, North Carolina at the Durham Armory. Last year we tore it down, and this year it's going to be a whole movie. Then Friday, we have the kids party with a petting zoo. On top of that, it's going to be held at the Sky Zone Trampoline Park with virtual reality included. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com. April 19th in the evening, General Mahaiman's scripture breakdown class. You already know we got the heavy hitter in the building, and it's going to be at the South Square Event Center. Make sure that you're in the house starting at 7 p.m. in Durham, North Carolina. Then April 20th, the moment you've been waiting for, the Lord's 55th annual Passover. Make sure that everybody's in the house, and it's being held at the last Black National Fairgrounds in Pittsboro, North Carolina, starting at 6 p.m. Also housing an actual slave quarters, which you will be able to go and take pictures and video footage in front of it. That's 191 Fairgrounds Road, Pittsboro, North Carolina, April 20th, starting at 6 p.m. with doors open at 4 p.m. for a brunch. Make sure you're in the house on time. Then April 21st, Sunday, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread at the Haiti Heritage Center, 804 Old Fayetteville Street, Durham, North Carolina. Make sure that you are in the house. If you have not booked your hotel room, there are still a few rooms available at the Millennium Hotel. Check the number. Make sure that you call. Rooms are only available while they last. The Lord's 55th Annual Passover, hosted by the ISUPK.
ISUPK presents the 55th Annual Passover Corsage. Order now. Only $10. The red corsages are for the married sisters only. The white corsages, sisters must complete 6 months in the school. Contact your camp leader now. Order now. Only $10. You must complete the payment. Pre-order your corsages now. Also, the 55th sister to pre-order will win one of these amazing handcrafted leather accessories for your wrist. Click the link in the description below to pre-order your corsages now.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
All right, let's talk it up. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathamtola. I give you how Shalom by Shem Yahshua watching sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, start out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. And the truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Jews, right? And we are not affiliated with any other Christian church or Hebrew Israelite group. 1 West is home of the truth. It's not under commanding General Yohana. It is not the truth. All right. I'm holding it down for Captain Mashak till he gets here. He's going to be in a hot second. But until then, the show must go on. The show must go on. Right. And that's biblical. That's biblical. Let me tell you something. I was talking to my manager. And he's a staunch Christian. 11. He's a staunch Christian. 10, yeah. He's a staunch Christian, right? And you know, he asked me something about something about birthdays, and I was like, I don't celebrate birthdays. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. And he was like, well, why? I gotta ask you why. And I broke it down to him real quick. Basically, that's you celebrating, you're worshiping another God. The Most High God said, thou shalt have no other gods before me. It's plain and simple as that. So he was like, well, if that's the case, you don't celebrate Christmas or the resurrection or Easter or anything like that. You have something? Speaker has a lot of static. Yeah, do that one. So that's probably that is what it is. Type of 1 in the chat if it's if you can hear me clearly. Type of 1 in the chat. When you get done with that, just we're gonna switch it out again. I'll do with this barbershop. Type of 1 in the chat. See if everything's clear without the static now. Just let me know real quick. So like I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna go ahead. Type of 1 in the chat, Baba Kashar. All right. Now this when he asked me, do you if you celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving or what is it, Easter, the resurrection? I was like, no, I don't. And there's actually scripture that specifically tells you not to do what you think Christmas is. Besides, Christ wasn't born in the middle of winter. So why are we celebrating, the birth of him when no one celebrated? They celebrated when he came through. So they celebrated when Christ was born, but that was and I don't even know if it was actually that day. It was a time period when the wise men came through and gave him gifts. That doesn't mean every year on that day you celebrate the birth of Christ, because no one else celebrated like that. So there is nothing wrong with you celebrating the birth of a child when they're born. You know what I'm saying? Let me make it clear, when they're born. Now, going out and celebrating that, every year, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. As a Roman custom, where Most High in Christ the water. See the ones in there. That's a Roman custom to where you where folks are celebrating people as gods, and I had to break that down to them. You know what I'm saying? I broke down to him I broke down to him Easter, and it's something as simple as this that I knew, but it took Captain Zarek to actually speak it and break it down to me like, hey man, that's simple. Why is Easter and the Christian church on a different day? Every year they're supposed to be celebrating the resurrection of Christ, right? He died, and then he got rose again 3 days later. That's what they say, right? So they're celebrating Easter for that reason. It had nothing to do with the bunny, but yet they still have the bunnies and Easter egg hunts in the church. But anyway, my point is, if someone dies on April 10th, today is April 10th, someone dies today, and there's an anniversary to that death, it's going to be April 10th in 2025. It's going to be April 10th in 2038. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be April 10th in 2021, 22. It's not going to be April 7th. It's not going to be, March 31st. It's not going to be some different day. And you know what this this dude told me? He was like, well, I'm still celebrating that my own way. I'm still going to do that thing that God told me not to. He didn't say this, but he said it. And what he said and what translated to me was, I'm going to do whatever I want to do to honor God. I'm like, yo, man, these Christians are out of control. There's no wonder, we got earthquakes going on in New York City. There's no wonder we got people believing that there's a portal that opened up on the eclipse. Oh, you haven't heard that? Good. You haven't been around these drug addicts. These cats really believed that it was a portal that was going to open up, and you have to get up under. You have to get in the path of that portal so that you can receive whatever, all this energy or whatever. So, man, it's like drugs is a hell of a drug. Weed, Molly, ecstasy, popping pills, all that stuff scrambles your brain cells. And most of these cats was these conscious, overstanding stuff. talking about, you get up under that path of the eclipse, man. You can totally upgrade your life. This is what they was this is what they were teaching everybody. Whoever would listen, they would teach people this. And you can hear that and you can say, man, these people didn't say that. Well, just remember, not too long ago, they said the 5G towers caused COVID. Did they not? Do you remember them saying that? I remember them saying that. I remember them saying we got to tear down these 5G towers because as soon as they went up, COVID came along. That's what happened. Man, these people. Why are we even giving credence to any of these folks? Why are we talking to why are we listening to them? You know why we're listening to them? Because most of us are drug addicts. When I say us, I'm talking about us as a whole. We have a lot of people who are just destroyed. And that's why people think that Jones is up. And with that, I pass the class over to Precinct Captain Mashak Mayal.
All right, we'll get them.
I was just ranting about and how he was saying there was a portal. There was a portal that opened up.
It was a portal.
Kind of. You get under the portal because the clips represent a portal, and you get under the portal, it will give you like some grades, and you get smarter and you get more like creativity.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, I was telling Kazaka, brother, I remember back in 2006 or 2007, now if I don't know it too, a TV series named Heroes. And it was supposed to be like a superhero, like a comic book in real life shit, right? Because it ain't for kids. It's not no superhero shit for kids. And the premise of it is an eclipse that gives everybody superpowers. It's ridiculous. I wonder if you still get high if you get under the hole. Will you stop smoking weed or could you just get high on your own? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get it. But it's a rough one. You know what I mean? Damn. Okay. All right. Let's go. We're here Wednesday night. Scripture breakdown. Listen, I definitely have to get in here tonight to rock this class because, brother, I heard some news yesterday morning that is just absolutely ridiculous. It's giving trouble or it's still up? Oh, okay. No sweat, no sweat. Let me get you more than a bottle. Give me 2 bottles. Kind of warm for sure today. But there was some 4-year-old girl in Trinidad, right? Her mother left the father shortly after she got pregnant, or shortly after the child's birth, maybe less than a year old, got with somebody else. Since over the weekend, the mother complaining that the stepfather, not the stepfather, the man who she with, the new boyfriend, is having mental episodes. All right? Mental issues, mental episodes. It's like he have a split personality, he have a nervous breakdown, whatever you want to describe it. Saying he had something going on with him. She ended up so I can make this on music vibrate. So what? She ended up running out the house to go get the police, of course, right? And comes back. The police come back with her to the house. So she want to go in the house to check on the baby. She goes in the house, and the baby's head is in one corner, and the baby's somewhere else. 4 years old. 4 years old, bro. And of course, everybody is pointing fingers at the crazy crazy new boyfriend, which of course he's a nutcase. You know, they had to deal with him. You definitely had to deal with him. But tonight we're gonna go through the whole problem and the solution to some shit like this. The shit is absolutely an amazing thing, and not the good amazing, the amazing that's gonna leave you like, what in the hell are you talking about? I'm still waiting to hear. This is a late April Fool's Day.
I'm still waiting to hear some shit like that, brother. But they say the child head is in another corner. He done behead the baby and chop the body up and do some kind of nonsense. And it's left, of course, the whole place in a state of shock. And these things, you hear about them, and it's very shocking. But you come to find out, just because we have the Google machine, you come to find out, brother, you go on the internet, and you will find 12 more cases like that all throughout the place. You'll find cases of ridiculous stuff happening. And this is one of the more extreme ones, but this story is not at all strange. This story is not different at all. At all. So we're going to get into that tonight. I have some videos, some interviews from the thing. We're going to find the real problem, like what causes something like this, and the solution for it. You get the point? We're going to get what causes something like this, and the solution for it as well. So is there any questions online?
There's no questions. They don't like that we got special guests coming up to ask them.
Oh, who don't like that? You sure it's a devil? You think Craig is a devil? Craig is a purple shirt wearing copper. Craig is not a devil. Unless I need to see Craig's face if he's a devil. You all send him the link? You all send him the link? Yeah, he ain't no devil. Craig is a purple shirt wearing police officer. That's who will be mad at a woman who would say she's going to be submissive to a man. Remember, the leader said multiple wives is the sign of a cult. He said a sign of a cult is a man who has more than one woman. But the molestation and the sexual assault with Joy Morgan and the one where he shot the tranny in the face in Arizona, that's not cultish movements. That's nothing wrong, That's fine. Yeah, I don't believe that's a white man you're talking to there. All right. If you're mad, you're sure this mic is too loud. 1 1 2 1 2 1 2. Tell me if you're hearing me. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is the other mic on? 1 2 1 2. Yo, let us know in the chat if the mic working, all right? Or if it's not working. All right. Which speaker? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. If no questions, we could go straight into it. Because I'm going to send some video, all right? Check. This is Bravo. Brother, he's not the class with this one. What's the problem? All right. How about now? How was it? How was it? We'll try to job. What's it is? Okay, you need to shut down the mics and then. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's sort you out.
Shalom, Israel. The ISUPK is hosting the Lord's 55th annual Passover with a all-access pass to the Lamb Slaughter, all-black party, scripture breakdown class, kids party, the Lord's 55th annual Passover, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com, starting with April 17th events with the Lamb Slaughter at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in North Carolina. Make sure that you get involved. Make sure that you're in the house at 1921 Strickland Road, Clayton, North Carolina. Followed up on April 18th, Thursday, the all-black party, ISUPK concert series in Durham, North Carolina at the Durham Armory. Last year we tore it down, and this year it's going to be a whole movie. Then Friday, we have the kids party with a petting zoo. On top of that, it's going to be held at the Sky Zone Trampoline Park with virtual reality included.
Discount. One two 1 2. Is better now? Okay, it might be the switch because the switch was kind of stuck, almost like it was in between off and on. You gotta push it all the way down and push it all the way back up. So it might be the switch on this thing right here. All right. Do me a favor. This black chair here. Or the brown one. Maybe the brown one. Just the brown one, right? Just put it right next to the black one. Or the white one right here. If you don't mind, please. All right. Just make sure right the back row, the white chair, right there, right next to that back row. So what? Slide it over a little bit, so it's definitely on the system. That's the one. Okay. Let me know if there's any questions in there. No. All right. If not, then we'll go to the question and send some of this video, all right? So, okay, so do me a favor. Somebody pull up the article. If you find the article on Google, if you need the article, send it. All right? Let's Google foil heading in Trinidad. All right. That's correct. Whenever you have to go ahead and start. You have it. Shapat, you have it. That's right. What's the button required? I started reading. That's right. So you also messed up again. You sure? This one or the other one? Check. It's a little delay.
Check 1 2. Still this one was static as well. Kind of.
Shalom, Israel. The ISUPK is hosting the Lord's 55th annual Passover with a all-access pass to the Lamb Slaughter, all-black party, scripture breakdown class, kids party, the Lord's 55th annual Passover, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com, starting with April 17th events with the Lamb Slaughter at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in North Carolina. Make sure that you get involved. Make sure that you in the house at 1921 Strickland Road, Clayton, North Carolina. Followed up on April 18th, Thursday, the all-black party, ISUPK concert series in Durham, North Carolina at the Durham Armory. Last year we tore it down, and this year it's going to be a whole movie. Then Friday, we have the kids party with a petting zoo. On top of that, it's going to be held at the Sky Zone Trampoline Park with virtual reality included. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com. April 19th in the evening, General Mahaiman's scripture breakdown class. You already know we got the heavy hitter in the building, and it's going to be at the South Square Event Center. Make sure that you're in the house starting at 7 p.m. in Durham, North Carolina. Then April 20th, the moment you've been waiting for, the Lord's 55th annual Passover. Make sure that everybody's in the house, and it's being held at the last Black National Fairgrounds in Pittsboro, North Carolina, starting at 6 p.m. Also housing an actual slave quarters, which you will be able to go and take pictures and video footage in front of it. That's 191 Fairgrounds Road, Pittsboro, North Carolina, April 20th, starting at 6 p.m. with a doors open at 4 p.m. for a brunch. Make sure you're in the house on time. Then April 21st, Sunday, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread at the Haiti Heritage Center, 804 Old Fayetteville Street, Durham, North Carolina. Make sure that you are in the house. If you have not booked your hotel room, there are still a few rooms available at the Millennium Hotel. Check the number. Make sure that you call. Rooms are only available while they last. The Lord's 55th annual Passover, hosted by the ISUPK.
All right. Let me know how y'all in the chat. Let me know if there's still an echo, if there's still a buzzing. If it's to Wab now, let me know. All right. Testing 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you're all hearing an echoing, a buzzing, whatever it is. It's still going. It's good. Okay. All right. Most I ain't correct. All right. So let's rock with this one here now. All right. Go ahead and read the article, please, brother.
Girl 4 decapitated. Shocked, grieving resident. She called him daddy. The heinous beheading of 4-year-old Amara Lalite has left the nation in deep shock and despair, police in tears, and caught her mother completely off guard and wondering whether the man with whom she had a relationship tripped.
1 second. I'm probably might need to pull pictures up and stuff now. Is the audio fine? Let's drop it and let's get the whole thing going. All right. You might have to put a picture up of the little girl so people can see who it is. Of course, if anybody have any questions, if you have any questions, you just let me know, all right? And we'll go with it now. All right, let's start over from the top of the article, all right?
Okay.
This is in Trinidad. This happened yesterday morning, I believe. Yesterday morning. Go ahead.
Girl, 4 years old, decapitated. Shocked, grieving resident. She called him daddy. The heinous beheading of a 4-year-old Amara Lalite has left the nation in deep shock and despair, police in tears, and caught her mother completely off guard and wondering whether the man with whom she had a relationship tripped, as he was never violent before. Amara's 41-year-old mother, who asked not to be named, said yesterday the killer's actions at their 5th Street, 5 Rivers, Aruka home were a complete shock to her, and she never expected him to have ever harmed the child.
All right. So now this they interviewing the mother, right? This is she has this 4-year-old baby. This man who they're talking about is not the baby's father. So she's saying she never expected him to harm the child, right? So she had a relationship with him. Keep going.
He loved Amara. He was never violent to her at all before, in any way, shape, or form. He always protected her. He always protected her, and he always looked after her, even with me. I've never experienced that type of behavior from him before Monday. I don't even know how to describe it. It was almost like he was acting like a different person.
All right, so stop right there. So now go ahead and handle that business. Now she's saying she's never experienced nothing like that with him before. Of course, we don't know if that's true or not. There's no way to know if that's true or not. Of course, she could say that, but there's no way for us to know that part. All right. What we do know now is that, the dude who she's with, the baby's gone. The baby's gone. The woman said she came home and found the head on one side of the room and the baby on the other side, and blood just everywhere because he done had a psychotic episode, right? And now they questioning her about him, asking, did he, does he have shalom? Does he have a history of doing some shit like this? Does she, did anything like this happen before? She is saying, this is the first time something like this happened, but there's really no way to know. There's really no way to know for sure if this is the case. So that's neither here nor there for real. Like people gonna, have whatever ideas in their head about it. They're gonna say whatever they want to say. They're gonna say what they feel. People, you're gonna find out more things as time goes on. As time goes on, you're gonna hear more situations about it, more stories about it on that personal type of level. All right. But for now, that's what she's saying. Let me get some more on it to because you can pick it up. All right.
Over the same article.
Go ahead. Let me hear what you have.
4-year-old girl was brutally murdered at a 5th Street River, 5 Rivers, Akora home in Monday night, allegedly by a close male relative. Loop News understands that the child identified as Amara Little was beheaded. Our Akora police were notified around Aruka police were notified around 10 p.m. about a domestic violence incident at the residence. The officers were dispatched to the home where they made the gruesome discovery. The child's lifeless body was found on the floor in the bedroom. Her body has been mutilated. The suspect was taken into custody.
That's all they have?
That's all they have for that
Okay.
article.
You have any more?
Sir.
All right. So what we're gonna get some of the video as well with different interview they did with the mother of the child. Of course, the man who unalived the baby, cut the baby head off, he's in prison. I'm not sure if he can see a courtroom, to be honest with you. There's, outside of America, there's due process is not, you don't have a right to that shit. Like, That shit is very American. Right outside of that place, wherever the wind blows, where you're gonna end up. Since he may not see a court date. Who the hell knows? But if it is now that they think this is a mental, problem, then that's the wrong, approach to it. That's the absolute wrong approach to it. So, Bukwa, give me first which video you have.
I have the first one, demonic powers.
Yeah, give me that. All right. So this is an interview with this blogger from Trinidad, right? He's like he has video blogs and stuff like that. And he's made a name for himself with dealing with the media, with news and crime and covering those type of stories. Are we back with the buzzing? Are we good?
No, we're good.
Okay, no sweat. Something coming from me, the computer or something. Okay. All right, no sweat. But we good to go? Okay, so this is an interview with him and the child's father. Let's make sure the volume is up so the people in the room can hear the interview. You're going to skip through parts of it. All right, we're going to skip through parts of it. All right, go ahead.
How the government.
Exactly. How do you describe yourself as the father of the child, sir?
Boy, I try all how. The government never did anything because I try when I dropped $1,500 and my mother come back from New York to drop clothes, a big garbage bag full of clothes for my daughter. And the police, when I come to drop it, mother say that she didn't want it in my yard. She was not accepting anything.
So we don't want to go through all that. I understand. I mean, I understand what you're saying. But
right.
when was the last time you saw your child?
Of course, the interview, certain things he didn't want to deal with on the air. But that's why, not everybody could do our job. Right? Really, he doesn't want to deal with all that on the air because he doesn't want to drag the mother publicly. Because as a people right now living under this oppressor, of course, sisters in here is different. But everybody know in the world, in a domestic issue, America is siding with the woman. It doesn't matter who. That the brother Jonathan Majors, there's a surveillance tape of the brother attacking him and him fleeing out of the car. You know what I'm talking about? The man who acting Creed, he's fleeing out the car, but yet still he has the assault charge. You get the point? It doesn't matter, and that's damn near universal because the oppressor runs things. So he's stopping right there, but it's gonna come out later on. Keep going. So the brother is basically saying he tried to drop money off for the daughter, $1,500. He tried to bring clothes because his mother went to the States, went to New York and brought back clothes for the baby. He tried to drop the clothes. The mother wouldn't let him come see the girl. Does that sound strange? Does that sound strange to anybody? No. Go ahead.
But it settled that in court. So I went to the court when
Back
I went.
and forth?
Correct. When I went to the court.
So you haven't seen your child 3 years ago?
About 3 years.
So
correct.
like Christmas, and you know where the child living?
Christmas, birthday, everything. And
you know where the child living?
Yes, and she wasn't there. She wasn't at that place. And the court and all tell me that I cannot bring up custody for my child unless the mother bring me up in court for child maintenance. I say, what?
Right.
So the child started growing.
I'm just explaining to you, might not sound in Trinidad and the Caribbean, you might hear people say maintenance. Maintenance is child support. Right? So he went to the court to try to fight for the child. The courts tell him he can't launch a case for custody for the child unless the mother brings him up on child support. Anybody knows why that happens? Anybody understands why he can't fight for custody for the child? Because according to Esau, they're not even legally married for them to assume he's the father. Like he doesn't have a grounds to assume he's the father. You understand? I'm giving you the court version of it, not the righteous version. The court explanation, that's what they're saying. Like we can't even put your case in because on what grounds? Anybody could come in here and say, I want custody. The only proof that we have that you the father is if she claims you the father. I want you to understand how much power women have. And this class tonight, I hope both brothers and sisters can very much well learn from it, even though history tells me in 7 days everybody will forget and move on and keep doing the same dumb nonsense again. So they basically telling him, you don't even have proof you the father. So he can't even go to court with it unless she brings him up on child support. You get the point? And for whatever reason, she did not do it. I think she had some situation going on. It'll come out some more. So keep going.
Your child.
Correct. I was denied access to the child all the 3 years or mostly 4 years. And I went to Parents and Teachers Association, and the Parents Association tell me that they cannot give all the information on which part my child is going to school, because.
So you did have contact with the mom?
No, I didn't have no contact anything.
How long will I broke it off?
About 3 years.
Right,
about 3
stop
years.
right there. Because use the other one where it's a little bit more proportional. The other split screen. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a little bit too big with him there. So now, what happened is the baby was 4 years old when this thing happened. He hasn't seen the child in just around 3 years. So sometime within that 1 year period when the child is born, him and the mother is done. You get the point? And of course, he hasn't been allowed to see her during that time. He hasn't, gotten visitation, and is not for want of trying. He's about to run down to you everybody he went to, and they basically told him, nigga, what you worried about? Just forget the child. We're not helping you. But of course, a woman can go anywhere. And again, class might seem like I'm bashing sisters. That's not it. I'm waking you up to a reality that this could change if you understand your role in this thing. This what happened here happens everywhere. This is just an extreme case of it. This person cut this child head off. But what are some other things that happen to children because of this co-parenting bullshit? This dysfunctional bullshit that everybody is now today comfortable with and accepts. What else happens to kids? You don't want to answer. Molestation. That's the number one thing that happens to kids. Molestation. Just in general, physical abuse, neglect. Because nobody cares about the child, because everybody cares about the sexual satisfaction that happens with adults. But nobody cares about the child or the children involved. This was just a very extreme case. But this is normal what happened in here. And because, of course, the other things nobody cares about, just like anything that festers and rots, it's going to get extreme sooner or later. You get the point? Let's keep going.
She was a year until they broke up.
My little baby, yeah. When we broke up, I tell you, that I want to take my child. They say, no, the child still small. Let us stay with the mother. So
stop right there. You say the baby's still small. Let her stay with the mother. That's universal, right? That's normal. Because, of course, men, especially black men, is just so monstrous. We'll just put the baby in a pot and eat the baby. Let the child stay with the mother. Keep going.
No, I'm not blaming anybody, but you're not the only person I've heard this from, yeah? Like, in this case, but a lot of fathers out there who do have access to their children and who just do have access to their children is all kind of run around. And these are people who just, even though they want to come and see their child Christmas, they want to come, even though they want to come and, careful, even though they want to come and see the child for Christmas, they want to do this, they want to do that. There are a lot of fathers out there who just cannot, who in no way that you just can't because of the restrictions from the court.
Restrictions, right? Sure, I get restrictions
right there. So the interviewer is saying to him, his story is not uncommon. He knows a lot of fathers who cannot see their children and his problems. And what the words he's looking for is power. That's the word he's looking for when he says run around and his problems and his restrictions. He's saying black men do not have power. And, those of you all in class, you all might be able to see, take a look at it on your phone. But the brother there, he's nigger black. Beard, braids, shades on, tattoos. And he talking about he went to the Parent Teachers Association, the cops, the court. He went to anybody who would listen. And they say, nah, man, she's still young. Leave the child with the mother. Listen, black men need to be in black homes. And black children need their fathers more than anything. And that brings order. That brings a certain structure that children need to be able to grow the right way. And without it, you're going to have wayward things starting to happen. You're going to have poor development, and that leads to poor functioning adults. And poor functioning adults, you're going to have somebody who's going to cut a child head off. You get the point? It's a cycle, but it has to end somewhere. It has to end, right? Keep going.
I get restrictions from the court. I get restriction from Parents and Teachers Association to tell me that if you come outside and see a next man,
no, you're gonna have to skip ahead. He's right there. Whatever is the video, he inserted pictures of the baby. So he's about to tell you that he went to the court. He went to the PTA, right? And the school was telling him that they restrict him from coming to the school where the child is at. So you can't even come here, because if she's here, if the baby is here with another man, meaning the man who the child's mother is now with, and there's an incident at the school, we don't want that here. So you can't come here no more. This is the actual father they're talking to now. So this is what he's facing. They're about to tell you that. All right? You found it? Go ahead.
That is going to have conflict in the school. They don't want that. They do not want that. So they say, we cannot give out that information because the school will get a bad name.
So
all I wanted to do was to see my child.
Right, but you want this man here, this man who comes.
That's all he wants, which is what all fathers want. That's just it. This is what all fathers want. Fathers absolutely love their children. Absolutely love their children. Fathers love the woman who they have the child with, and sometimes the love might come with times of anger, times of being displeased with you. But that child, that father knows that child is his. It comes from him. He's giving you the child for a while, so the child could be in your stomach for 9 months. You bring the child out, two of you all together came together to produce this person. But this little person comes from him. It belongs to him. It's like his arm he's looking at, because this child grew from him, put into you, get to develop, and this child is his. It totally guts a man when you kidnap his child, which is what that is. It's absolute kidnapping. It's ransom. Child support is ransom. You're kidnapping a child, and you do not care about the child in that situation. You think you do, because America pump your head up, but you don't. If you did, you would never, ever put a hurdle in front of the father seeing the child. You're helping destroy the black hole. Pause right there. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 32 real quick. All right? We're going to go through this tonight. We're going to unpack this whole thing, and I'm going to give you the whole solution, because this could happen to anybody. Why? Because it's so prevalent, the dysfunction. It's so prevalent. You better, gird yourself up and tighten yourself up to the point where the next generation that comes up, this is not normal. It does not become a normal situation. The problem here is this is normal. It's normal to give the child to the mother because the child is young. So when the child gets to 15, why not give the child to the father? Well, it's an excuse after excuse. You get the point? That normalcy has to go the other way. It has to go the other way, and we're going to find out all about it. Could I get our scripture, brother, please? Come on.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look. Thine eyes. Come, sir.
If you need to get closer, you need to grab a seat so you get closer. I need that scripture scripture read good unto Wab, all right?
Come, Carson. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fall and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
Right. This is one of the curses of the book of Deuteronomy. Curses are punishments that the Most High Power, the God of Israel, has put in place when we disobey him. And in this situation here, of course, the child wasn't given to another people, but in the spirit it was, because why? The system is another people's system. The whole thing of you have to go to some authority for permission to see a child when you don't have there's no reason to keep you. You're not a criminal, you're not a sex offender, you're not, there's not a reason, you're not a drug addict. There's not a reason to keep you. Now you have to go there. That's not our system. That's not the system of the Lord. That man is in charge of that household and he has all authority unless he does something that vacates the authority. And that definitely is not dictated by that woman. It's not dictated. Now, she could let somebody know something wrong, but she can't decide that now he is incapable of being in charge. That has to come from somebody else. But this brother here, he said, man, all I wanted to do was see the child. You can hear it. As the interview goes on, you hear this brother's pain. He don't break down and cry. He's very masculine as could be. Listen, in the interview, he alluded to going to get locked up just to go deal with that man himself. That's what he said. He said that's his only child, He don't have another baby. And thanks to the UPK, he'll know if he listened, he know he could go make more. He know he could go make some more, and he'll know now he got to choose better. And I'm not saying that to say this is his fault. This is not his fault. This is absolutely not his fault. But he don't have to go, end it all now because of this horrible ass decision. Right? He has no power to go and get his own child. He doesn't have power. He doesn't have power. He's not given the authority to be a man, which is what the Lord called us to be as the 12 tribes of Israel. He wants every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man to stand and be a man and be in charge and have authority and have rulership and handle business. That's what the Lord wants from us. But in this kingdom we have, that thing you're not allowed to be. If you be like that, hold on 1 second, because I take this.
Scripture we have, Shabbat, Deuteronomy. Let's read it again, Bob.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32.
Right? Let me get a little bit more.
You only have no back.
I never see the person.
You never see the man?
No, I never see him.
Well, thank God.
She changed different people. And thank God.
Thank God you never see him.
But.
So the interviewer is like, how long you've been away from the mother and the child? 3 years. He hasn't seen the child since the child was about a year old. He asked him, have you ever seen this man who she was? He don't even know the name. It's mistake number 2. It's backwards to leave the man who you have a child with. It's backwards to leave the man who you're with anyway. According to the Bible, sex is marriage. Let me get that too. Exodus 22 and 16. Right? Let me get that quickly. All right? That's the first thing that you have to learn here. Trinidad and anywhere else that the children of Israel dwell, where this dysfunction prevails. That's the first step. You didn't know before? No problem. Now you're going to know. Let me get that.
Book of Exodus, chapters 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
And you lie with her, meaning that she has sex with you. That's your wife. What about now? Tell me now. Testing 1 2 1 2. That's some. You pay some goddamn tithes, man. Pay your tithes. And pay some Passover fee. $200. It ain't that expensive. It's on your foot right now. Pay them tithes. I try to rob you all and tithe on your behalf. Okay, and rob you and tithe on your behalf. It's already plugged in. We good to go? All right. I don't know how they're gonna hear you or with you reading. Shit, that shit don't transfer though. Not like that. All right. All right, let's let me go ahead and let me hear y'all. Gotta read loud. Or you can pass it if you're not able to see, you know. Go ahead, let's rock it out. Right, nice and loud.
Yes, I'm chapter.
Yes, chapter. Go ahead up.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Right? That's what the Bible said. If a man entices a maid that's not betrothed, not given to another man, and he lay with her, he has sex with her, sex is marriage according to the Bible. Right. You're not allowed to leave that man because you're angry with him. Right. You're not allowed to leave him because he has another woman. You're not allowed to leave him if he becomes an alcoholic. You're not allowed to leave him if he becomes a drug addict. You can't leave him for that. You cannot leave him. You set in stone. And knowing that, you might be more careful who you open your legs to. You might be more careful who you decide to let humble you. Now, it's even worse now if you breed for the man, if you get pregnant for him. Now, you got to stay with him. So knowing that, you better teach that next generation that and everybody else now that they got to stay with whoever you're having sex with. Right. You got to stay with whoever that person who is that father them children. You got to stay. Now, if the thing is already separated and gone, the horse is already out the stable, that's done. That's done. You had to just deal with that thing in the most amicable way until them children is 20 or 18 or whatever is the legal age, and then that's that. But going forward, you have sex with a man, that's your husband. You breed for him, you have children for him. You better stay with that man. You better do it. Or else you'll find your child's head like a bowling ball in the corner, like this sister and this brother down there in Trinidad. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
Ridiculous. And the father, boy, let's play some more of the father. Go ahead. Bukwash, you was about to say something? Okay, no sweat. So you wanted to say something?
Yes, it's like yes, sir. So like that is like when that story come over the news, is like, nah, this place is the same thing, just as they make mention, you know, all over. And you know, is a warning and is a reminder. And this is why, again, you know, every time we echo, we say, hey, brothers and sisters, all come to class. Because it's so important for us in this time right now that if we really lost focus on, you know, or following the custom that is society, there's the end result. And not knowing what marriage is. And it's so important to that here.
Now you're right, you're absolutely right, brother. It's horrible. It's horrible, It's absolutely horrible. And so you better go find that brother. You better go find that brother and give him the words of comfort that you learned from Command and General Hannah. He ain't got to throw this life away. He ain't got to throw this life away. He just has to make better choices in the future. And none of this is his fault. You need to go teach him the words that's going to help him. And I know you know what it is. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
Right.
You need to go and make sure that stays in his chest, brother. And that because he's gonna have some hard times going through. He still have a funeral to plan. You have a funeral now to go deal with. Imagine he never ever got to give the child money. Now this brother was coming with money for his one daughter, coming with clothes, showing up, trying to track the child down, and the mother playing musical chairs out. Now the only money he's allowed to give her now is funeral money. Come on.
It's heavy. What you're saying, the only way he can see it now is.
Oh, damn! I ain't even think about that. But I ain't even thinking they're gonna open that coffin, brother. Like imagine that. Like no, the only time he gets to see her is in a box with her head separated from her body. And you say we are cults. You say we have problems. I guarantee you all Christians. The reporter asked him, so Christmas time, you didn't go celebrate Christmas with them? What about her birthdays? He was trying to do it. He ignorantly don't know there's pagan stuff. But the point is, everything you live in this life is absolute dysfunction. It's dysfunctional and it's sick. And there's people suffering, but you don't give a damn about none of them. You don't really care about that girl. You don't care about that little child. And the proof is, after tonight's class, I wonder how much are you going to call ISUPK Trinidad and ask for some help, ask for some counsel and some guidance. Keep going on.
And between me and you, brother man, I think they're going to jail.
No. Don't do that. But he's in Costa Rica. Do not.
You hear him say, the father is like, he ready to go to jail now. He ready to do a crime so he could get locked up, so he could go handle that man in jail. Keep going.
I would not advise you to go down that road. I know who you are, you know me. You know me.
How it is.
Yeah,
feeding him breakfast, lunch,
go ahead.
No, you don't want going. No.
Forward there. So this is him. He's saying he ready to, he'll go inside, he'll catch a case, he'll do whatever he have to do, because now this is him trying to get his masculinity back, right? This is him trying to, be there for his daughter one last time. The reporter said some things on there that he shouldn't have said. He starts to talk about the brother's reputation and who he might be affiliated with. I think that was misplaced, because a man should be allowed to be angry. Like the reporter started to say, I know who you are, I know what you could do, I know you reach long. So now what? The police going to come and observe him and monitor him? Let this man be angry, man. Let him say whatever the hell he want to say. He have a right to be angry. Skip ahead a little bit more.
But what is sad today is that the problems he went through to have access to his child. And that is what we want to be talking about.
For all the years. Every day I think about my daughter. Every day.
Say, mommy used to send clothes and things
Yeah, she went New York, she come back.
And thing,
Yeah, she buy barrel, everything for my child. And when I bring it, it's like, no, we're not accepting nothing from all you.
No, pause it right there, police. Right? No, see, there's a woman right behind him. There was a woman standing there, right? That's the child's mother. Now I'm telling you, we're gonna go into. There's a lot to unpack in this thing here. And if it wasn't for the truth, brother, you would pick a side and just hate one of the Israelites. If it wasn't for the truth, you would pick a side. Because right now, that's what's happening in Trinidad. Some people, most men is on the father's side. Most women is I can't say that. A lot of women is on the father's side too, but the mother is getting some sympathy as well. And it's going to divide things. And a lot of people don't have the answers. They ask this. I'm hearing people talk and seeing the comments, and it's like, what is this place coming to? Like, what else is going to happen? That's a good place to be in. That place of confusion that you're feeling, that's a very, very good place to be in. That means everything you believe in has failed you. You just need somebody to tell you you failed. That's all. And I'll tell you, I don't care about being liked. It's all good. I don't need to win a popularity count. What's the miscongeniality? I don't need to win that shit. I'll tell you the truth. You can hate me all you want, but everything you've loved and set your mind and your heart to, everything that you thought could lead you in life has failed you, and now you're confused. Right. Keep going on.
I just push it back to where it has the mother.
Okay, go ahead. Well, we're going to get to her. I have another interview with the mother. All right? But go ahead with the brother. Go ahead.
Telling you that the mother?
Yeah, the mother tell me that. And when she say, I'll call the police, I say, well, I stay in here. Let me see what the police is going to do. When the police come now.
So she didn't want nothing.
No, she said she
so what break up for? What told them break up for?
That was a whole situation by itself, because the grandfather called me and told me that she was staying with her ex-man. Right.
Well, all right.
Coming and pick her.
I'll say it's right.
I know when they should go.
Pause it. And once again, that's the society we live in. The reporter asked him, so why y'all even break up in the first place? The child is so young. Y'all break up when the child was 1. He said the grandfather, meaning her father, called him and said she was hoeing with somebody else. That's what he said. When he said she was tinging with her ex-man, that's what he mean. He means she was with somebody else, and of course he probably lost it and, you know, curse her out or act violent, shake her up, whatever. He didn't kill her. And after that, they broke up. Keep going.
It's Savannah. Because,
exactly, I know you Savannah. Craig,
yeah.
you well know.
Yeah, believe me, I know.
What do you know about all that? The police, the court, PTA, Parents and Teachers Association. I blame everything because I try at all angles to see my child. I even tried to file for custody on the blank man.
Listen, pause it right there. This brother, I wouldn't know, he might be listening to Commander Nehana already, because he says the reporter asked him, like, who does he think is at fault? He says, I blame the government, I blame the police, I blame the court, I blame the school, I blame everybody because I tried. And that's okay. When that happens, now what else do you want him to do? Now, if he takes up guns and start robbing people, you cannot call him a criminal. If he starts shipping massive amounts of cocaine and heroin, you cannot call him a criminal because he said what? I tried. Y'all always say black men is deadbeat dads and they don't be there. And this nigga is trying. He become a detective. He go to the PTA, waiting outside the school, going here, there, and everywhere. They telling them they can't give him information. And frankly, we don't want you here because you's the man the mother don't want. But the man the mother wants, they'll allow him to come to the school, pick up the child. He said, I tried. So this debt is on y'all. This is not on me. Keep going. Right. So you better go find him and all. I want to see this brother in black. Go ahead, Bukwash.
Wow.
Every day I think about my daughter. Every day.
Would you have to say to a woman leaving she husband or leaving she child father to go to pick up somebody else now? What you have to say? What would have advised? I have to know who you're already going with.
I had to say they're up to no good because if your grandfather could call me.
No, we're talking about like I would have advised the woman and like
going back with the ex and the
no. Like just look what you went. She told her break up. You look like all you're good. You're not in a bacchanal thing with her. I realize that. But you're not that kind of person. Right? But let's tell you about what would have advice you will have the men out there who going through this.
I know, cited from before and try to keep a hold. I don't know.
He don't know.
Much as
So the reporter is asking him, he said, what word of advice would you have seeing that this happens? A woman who would leave the man who they're with, the father of the children, and go with somebody else. So first he started to vent his anger. He's like, well, she up to no good, blah, blah, blah. And he said, no, for other women who might be thinking about it. And he said, well, you have to sight it from far, meaning you got to look carefully before you go. That's what you mean when he says sight it from far. And then he say, I don't know. And that's good. Again, that's a good place to be in because we know. We know exactly what you should teach sisters who are going to leave their husbands because they're angry. We know the Bible is full of examples, and quite fortunately, life is full of examples, and this is one of them. This is absolutely one of them. The woman in the book of Judges, right? The Ephraimite Rib, who left him and went to her father's house. You remember her? And the men of the city raped her. I'm not saying that that's good for that to happen, but if she never left the brother, remember, she hoarded him and went to her father's house. He couldn't let her go, and he went after her, and that's what happened. You get the point? There's many examples of it. There's tons of examples. It's just we've been conditioned to start living with those things. We've been conditioned to start living with those things, and children have been violated in these exchanges, and nobody cares. It takes something this extreme for you to take notice, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Keep going.
To try to hold and protect your children, because a 4-year-old could never do a big man anything, boy. as a man.
So you heard it from your dad, what exactly went on? He never had the opportunity to see his child because of all kind of restrictions. Or can he try all of it?
Right. He said you have to protect your children at all costs. And he's saying a 4-year-old could never do a grown man anything, meaning there's nothing she could have done to provoke that type of reaction, right? And that's for normal people. But we're not dealing with a normal situation. How could you expect a normal reaction from an abnormal situation? You, the father, right? He is not. What do you expect to happen? Right. What really you expect to happen? That's not his child. But we condition now to think that's normal. You could have sex with her. That's my child's mother. You could go have sex with her, and we'll work this thing out. Damn all of that bullshit. That's right. That is absolute dysfunction. That's right. It's dysfunctional. And people are suffering for it, but you don't think of children as people who you have to worry about. You only think about yourself. It's sick. Go ahead, come on.
God, what you're saying is so heavy, sir. And I remember just being a child, and exactly what you just said, I remember feeling like that as a child. Like nobody gives a damn.
Just so everybody could hear.
Cause, sir, I remember as a kid feeling like nobody gives a damn about how we feel as the kids in the whole mix. Like you just gonna bring a new nigga in the house, and we got this stranger in our house, and whole time we know our father. And it's like that whole, like you said, the dysfunction as kids feel it. Yep. Kids know this don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? This is it, you trying to make something normal and it don't feel right.
Not normal. It's absolutely an abnormal thing. Right. You get the point? But again, it's the condition. There was a time that this was abnormal in society. Right. There was a time this was like frowned upon. You ain't doing it. You know, I would leave him, but we got kids. And now it's swayed into, well, I could do this by myself. I could be mommy and daddy. I don't need him, this, that, the other. And that has to stop. That absolutely has to stop. Now, again, tempering it. If you're in that situation now, the horse is already out the barn. That's your situation now. Deal with it. And throughout this class, I'm gonna let you know, the brother just said he never met the new daddy. He never met the new boyfriend. If you're in that situation now, you should build a relationship with that child's father. And I'm talking about a talking relationship with him. Not just like, hey, nigga, here's your child. You better, hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling? Hey, the baby's sick, man. You need anything? You better build a relationship with him. She can't have no more relationship with him. You decided to have sex with her. Right. You with him now. Right. All three of you are gonna marry. You have a husband and a wife, nigga. Pause. That's it. You want to do that? Yeah. Make sure. And you treat him like royalty. That's right. You treat him like he's a guest at all times. And when he gets frustrated and angry and he cooking out, you take a deep breath and you exhale and you understand this is his child, right, and you are effing his child's mother. Right. He has a right to be angry. Oh, and you try to pacify and you try your best to meet him wherever he wants to be met, because you decided to step in there. Now, that's if that's the situation now. That's how you have to deal with it. Once again, masculinity will cure everything. That's right. Right? The Lord said in the book of Genesis, I looked in the earth and there was not a man to till the ground. Women today say what? Ain't no good men around, and the inbox is full of men. It's the same thing being said, meaning there's people there, but I need a man to handle this situation. But when women say they're evil as hell, of course, that's not, it's not, there's no backing behind that shit. I'm explaining the statement. You're going to have to go in there and own it all. There's an old saying, I think it's more or less Caribbean. I'm not too sure if they say it up here, but they say, if you love the cow, you have to accept the calf. Meaning whatever you want to undertake, brother, there's things that's going to come with it. You better be sure you're ready to handle all of that shit, or don't touch it. Right. Leave it to hell alone. You buy a car and you now remember, listen, man, you have maintenance. You shocked. I didn't know how to change the oil. What? You should get a bike. You should get a bike or that app with them little zoomy bikes all around DC. That's what you should get, or a scooter. You shouldn't have a car. You don't know how to change the oil. You're not mature enough to. Go ahead.
I never heard that saying, but my father my oldest brother and my sister, when they was younger, their father had committed suicide. My father had took them in when they was like 1 years old, and he used to raise me and my other brother, and tell us like, when you marry her, you marry the kids too. Like he used to raise us on that.
Okay, I'm gonna go one further. You marry her father and her mother. You marry her uncles, you marry her brothers, you marry the dog. If she have a fish, you marry the fish. That's the level it has to be on.
Right.
You have to be, okay, this is what it has to be for a man. After a couple years of you being around, everybody has to know who the hell you are. Right. And if there's a problem, it must not be any hard issue to reach you. Yeah, she got mine, but shit, he don't ever be around. I don't see him. What we talking about? Now, if you're not ready for all of that, brother, just leave her alone. Yeah. That's all right. You ain't got to. Just leave her the hell alone. Just leave her to hell alone. Like, you have to meet everything head on and handle it all. And you're gonna have to be gracious in it, and you gotta be fierce in it, and you're gonna have to be, relentless in it, because you're gonna get tired of this shit. Right. But you can't get tired because you decided to lay with her. Right. So how he said he didn't meet the father, the new boyfriend, that's a fault on the new boyfriend. However, as a man, if that's your situation now, yeah, you better go see who's up in there with your kids are. You better go look him straight in the eye and understand. Men could have understandings just from looking at each other. We're going to have this understanding right here. And I guarantee you, brother, if he met that dude would have not touched his child. Because he knows what could happen. He knows exactly what could happen. And this is the problem. I'm kind of rushing ahead, but this is the problem with the dysfunction today. You getting together with people, you hooking up, which is in the Bible marriage, and there's nobody who's advocating it or okay in it. A protection in this situation is the father of the wife, the father of the mother. He says, this is my daughter, brother, I'm gonna let you marry her. The father knows you, the father, everybody knows this is your woman. Y'all have an issue, man, y'all break up, y'all better go fix that. Everywhere you go, y'all better go fix that. Right. Then y'all have an issue, she goes out. Ain't nobody hollering at her because everybody know that's your woman. In today's society, shit, the heathen Nipsey Hussle died, everybody was, waiting. No, he dead and gone. She free to go marry. But the spirit in this place is to love and lust over something that somebody else has. Like the covetousness, that's what this is in the Bible, coveting. It's very strong in this society. Like, you don't find value in something by itself. But the minute it's over here, now it's valuable. Right. That's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. So now you in that situation now, them two men had a talk. Nobody else doing talking. The woman, she didn't have a say in nothing with the child, and when the actual father gets this, she don't have a say. She could be mad however she wants. You be a big brother to that child, and you look after that child like this was your brother's child, and he off in war or he in prison, and you have to look after his child. Right. You don't go in there and try to be a daddy, dummy. Right. Go in there and look over a child that needs somebody to look over them. Right. And when that father's ready to see the child, brother, you be NATO, you be United Nations, brother. You be the peacekeepers and make sure that shit happen. Right. Now, if you ain't ready to do that, if you ain't ready to take the child from the house you're staying in and drive an hour and a half, 2 hours or wherever, so the biological father could see the child, if you ain't ready to facilitate all of that, why are you touching the woman for? Right. Why are you touching the woman for? Don't do that. You going in there, you want that tail so bad, just know there's extra gas you had to pay. Extra gas you had to pay. And all that child support money that she would want to put him on, you better not touch it. You better go do some extra shifts and buy that child toys and clothes and make sure the child gets an education and make sure the child is in, after school activities and sports make sure and raise that child up for your brother.
Right.
But if you don't want to do that and you want to compete and be a better man, I can do it better than he can. Boyfriend number 2, and you're going to be a better daddy than he ever was. You're a dummy. You're an idiot. And you're part of the problem.
Right.
Let me get some more.
Can't deny it. What's her name again?
Trisha.
Trisha.
Trisha Philawell.
Trisha. Just come a minute, please.
So they call the mother out now. They cordial. You can see it. Like, you see the mother in the video before. You didn't know that was the mother, right? You thought that was just somebody. That's the mother. And people in Trinidad are saying, what the hell is wrong with this woman? Why she left the baby there? Why she didn't take the baby? Okay, what happened? They had an argument. She said the brother was declining over the past few days. It was like he was a different person. More than likely, he was on drugs. Or he had a mental episode. She said it felt like he was somebody else. And I think he put hands on her the past couple of days. Yesterday, early morning, he, choked her up. And she fought and got away. So she said when she was leaving the house, she calling for the baby. And the baby playing the tablet on the bed. She happy. So she said she going to get some help from the police. By the time she come back, the baby head off the body. Right? So they're saying her reaction to the whole thing is wrong. And of course, woman is, of course, superwoman, super mommy. They know best. If that was my child, I would have do this and that. It's a grown-ass man. You wouldn't have did shit. You wouldn't have did nothing. You in that situation now, the child probably getting molested and you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Your child probably on drugs right now and you're not doing nothing about it. Right. Don't lie and say like you much better than her. You're not better than her. You're the same. Right. And the things, something wrong with her. The sister probably, you'll see how she started to talk. She got some trauma with her and she's not all the way there. She's not crazy and retarded or nothing, but she's not processing things like how normal people do. You'll hear it. Right, which is why, again, thank the Lord for the truth, because you will pick a side and just hate an Israelite. Go ahead, Al.
I'm asking, like, he ready to bring things for the child and thing? Like, yeah.
Miss Allen, I don't know, because I wasn't even in the area.
Yeah.
You can skip that. Yeah. He starts to ask her about if the actual father, if it's true he used to bring stuff for the child. She starts to deny the shit. She said, I don't know, I wasn't there, whatever. They said she was missing for a time. I think she probably was maybe in institution. I don't know. Skip forward a little bit more. How much minutes we at?
It's at 8:42. So.
Yeah, skip forward us a little bit more. Go ahead, play.
Stay at the house and I had to leave for over a year. He wasn't here. So, and then the phone did get destroyed. I didn't have a phone and all of that.
So you regret not having him? So you think that
I wanted them to know his daughter. I wanted them to have
but he didn't come true.
Daughter. But when I was there in the house, I didn't see him, man. He didn't know.
But he didn't know where he was and all kind of thing.
He didn't know I was back in
But for 2 years, you couldn't search and all too? He
passed?
I don't know.
How you describe this man? How you describe this man? All good?
He's a good person. Yeah.
So she said there. So the reporter's asking her, well, in 2 years, the brother coming. She's like, I don't know. I didn't have a phone. She wasn't wrong. I believe she probably was in an institution. I don't know for sure. But something was going on with her where she wasn't allowed to roll free. Right? Then he says, well, what kind of man is he? She said, he's a good man. That's the child's father she's talking about. Because he's now, he on the tip of, well, if he's good, why are you leaving? Keep going.
He's a good person.
He's a good person. I just couldn't deal with certain of some of his bad tendencies. So,
But you could deal with somebody who cut the child head off, bro. You couldn't deal with some of his bad tendencies. What bad tendencies? To want you to not be a hoe? To want you to not dress a certain way, woman? To want you to be something more than your little dumb self would let you be if somebody leave you alone? Right. That's something that most people don't understand.
Right.
Sometimes when you have somebody who is extremely abrasive, that's the best word. You know what abrasive means? Everybody know what abrasive means? It's like just rough to touch, just like a Brillo pad or the metal pads. It's just like it get the job done, but damn, nigga, shit. Yeah, sometimes that person is more clear-minded than you are. Right. And your dumbass would sit and play with shit if they let you to. If they let you alone, you would just sit there and make mud pies and shit pies. Yeah, that. If you let alone. But this person now will come and straighten you up. That uneasiness you feel, that's you straightening up because you lived in dysfunction and comfort and found comfort in dysfunction for so long. Normal life to you is it's too rough. And that's the society we in now. It's the society you're in now. And if, especially for brothers, especially in here, you better stay strong and tight and boots up real tight, brother, because the pushback you're going to get is going to be so universal. You will start doubting yourself. You will start saying, damn, I might be too strict. I might be doing, you're not. Right. You're absolutely not. You're really in a different country, inside another country, living by rules of a different country inside of another country. You're not too extra. You're not. You're not too extra at all. You continue doing what you're doing, brothers. Continue getting counsel. Continue doing that masculine UPK thing. Because, brother, this child here, there's video of the child. I'll probably try to post the video afterwards. There's videos of the child the reporter showed. And, brother, this baby is bubbly-yak and running and playing and smiling. And if you're not extreme, she can't smile. You understand? Right. For her to have that safe space to be a little child or that boy to be a little boy, somebody has to be a monster. And not the monster that's going to cut the head off, but the monster that's going to, on sight, somebody see you like, wrong house. You're going to have to be like that. And I'm saying monster not to say you have to be a monster, but that's how they're going to look at you. They're going to look at you like something is wrong with you. But now, what they're asking the father, well, where were you? Right. What kind of question is to ask that shit? What are we talking about? You gonna ask him? I'm glad he had the answers for them. I was expecting him to cry and say, man, I could have been a better father. He didn't say that. He was manful. I went here, there, and everywhere. I blame the government, the police, and the teachers. Get that brother a hand. He's right. All he needs to do after that is say, I blame the white man. So that's who is in charge of all this shit. Let's keep going on.
See all the can talk and, she need all the support she can get right now. She carried your child. What's that? Yeah, she need all the support. Again,
it has to go back to the white supremacy. Right. He say, well, listen, it sounds like you're all good. You all could talk to each other. She needs support, so give her support. Fuck we talking about? What are we talking about? What is we talking about? Okay, now, in a way, he's right. That's not the time for that shit. That's why the man say, listen, that's something serious. That's what we talking about. And the brother is calm. His answers is not, out there. He's calm. That's not the time for that. And it's okay. It's so dysfunctional. Like you telling me I need to go support a whore, because that's essentially what it is. I need to give her a hug. Me. She had a baby for 3 years. I ain't seen the baby for 3 years. And I need to be the bigger man? Nah, man. Nah. It's wrong. Go ahead.
A lot of things, and I really hope that you extend the olive branch and help out and see what you can do. Because she carried your child. Everybody make decisions, but don't just,
Do just what?
Yep.
To cut off a child head. There's something very serious.
There's something demonic.
It is demonic.
A 4-year-old girl, not even a boy.
But she said the man never displayed them kind of tendencies, She said the man never displayed them kind of tendencies.
All right, give me the other video out. Give me the other video. So now they're talking about how the guy might be mental problems, might have been on drugs. Give me Smite thee with madness in Deuteronomy. All right. You have the other video out? No sweat. Right? This other video is an interview with the mother at an earlier time when the incident happened. All right. And the brother's gonna get it for you right now. You all know we have Passover coming up April 20th. Pay your Passover fee, $200. Get out of hand, $200 per adult. Every adult. We're gonna be doing it big in what's the name? Something Hill. Snow Hill, boy. I mean, the spread is ridiculous. The spread is absolutely ridiculous. Snow Hill, North Carolina, at a place called the Red House. I'm trying to tell you, I laid eyes on the place, bro, and it's, you know, y'all think last year was bad. This year is gonna be something even, you know, more ridiculous. You know what I mean? You have it yet?
The scripture, sir.
Go give me scripture. Go ahead. You need me to resend it?
No, it's just loading up. I don't have a lot of signal in here. So.
Oh shit. Okay.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
How could I send it to the computer? How are you pulling it up on the computer?
AirDrop.
I don't know nothing about it. Send it to somebody else who know about that shit. Brock, you have an iPhone, right? Yeah, send it to him. He can send it to the computer. I don't know. AirDrop. What the fuck is that shit?
It's like Bluetooth for Apple.
Smooth. It ain't that smooth. That shit ain't ready yet. Y'all be hyping up this shit, man. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Apple is a well dressed up piece of unreliability. This is well dressed. I'm gonna tell you that straight up and down. Straight up and down. Now, give me the thing that work. Is it working yet? There's plenty air in here and all. Plenty air. How is it not dropping? Come on, y'all work that thing out, man. You probably need to put an account on there so you can just send it straight to the account. All right, go ahead and read the scripture to her.
Kawakan, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope at noonday.
You understand? In the noonday, when the sun is high, in the middle of the day, when the bright daylight, you're gonna be smitten with madness and astonishment of heart. You're gonna grope around in the day like it was nighttime, and it's in the middle of the noon.
Right.
You get the point? It's the middle of the day, and you lost in the source. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to help yourself. You don't know where it's coming from or where it's going.
Right.
And that's what happened here. Like they were saying that police officers was on the scene crying out. Because it was just like, what are we talking about? And it's one of them things unless you of course in the truth, you cannot have the right type of aggressive response to it. It's going to break you.
Yeah,
something like that is going to break you. And it's good that you get broken over it because we live in dysfunction and something needs to change.
Right.
Something absolutely needs to change. Let me tell you, sisters, something. Understand that this is key and golden. Knowing that you don't know will save your life. No, Black woman, Hispanic woman, Native Indian woman, knowing that you don't know will save your life. It's becoming too much commonplace where you have confidence in ignorance. And that shit cannot continue. It absolutely cannot continue. Right. It's madness. It's absolute madness. And that's what happened here. They're saying he was unstable. He was mentally unstable. That's a curse in the Bible. The Lord will smite thee with madness and astonishment of heart. Like, that's a shocking thing. Up to the now, I down there don't even want to believe the thing even happened. Right? You have it? All right, let me know when you're ready to play. You need some. Let's get it. So this is the same reporter interviewing the mother.
Last night, about 9:30.
About 9:30.
She was happy. She was on her tab, playing her games. You know, when it is when I enter the room, when I actually I knocked on the door. Right. I knocked on the door to enter one of the rooms so he could let me in. Right. When he opened the door, he pushed me out of the room and then he grabbed me by my neck and my t-shirt to drag me in the room like he wanted to harm me. Right. I managed to escape. While I was trying to escape, I was calling Amara to come. Amara, come. Amara did not move. Amara was on the bed playing and laughing and like fight.
So how long this feud started between both of you?
He was normal all the time. He just started to display like multiple personalities. Just a couple of days. And the thing is with that, the questions he would ask.
He has any history of displaying them kind of tendencies?
No, this is the first time. He was never
what's wrong with that?
aggressive.
This is something else that could be far fetched, but it's a possibility. She could be lying about this, and she did it. Right? A few weeks ago, I was in the UK. We coming back from Leicester. We get a text message. Some fake Israelite in Birmingham kill a little boy. Right? I believe it's a heathen though, but they from some fake Israelite group. She killed the boy, beat the boy to death, fractured skull, ribs, all kind of shit. Initially blamed the father. Father wasn't home though. Police show up. She tell the police the boy was choking on something. She tried to dislodge the shit. They release the police footage and you see her lying at the door. Come to find out when it goes to court, she's the one that did it. You get the point?
Right.
Christians, fake Israelites, same thing. Right. But for now, they're saying he did it. All right, so we'll keep going with that. Go ahead.
St. Joseph's College. This incident. This is the first time. This is the first time he ever acted out like that. He was never a violent or aggressive person towards me or Amara. He was very protective actually. He was very, very protective of us. Especially
And how long you been with him?
4 years.
4 years. How long you separated from your the child biological father?
Amara was a year old when
but you all good too, all good. You and the father, child
yeah,
father.
well, we talked, but we didn't used to see each other regular because I had some things going on with me where I wasn't able to be around. So
right, that's what I'm saying. Like something was up with her. Either she had a mental problem, she had a medical problem, she couldn't be around, she couldn't function like a normal person. Right? Keep going.
Yeah, Mara at that time, but when I came back home, I didn't have a phone. I get a new phone. I couldn't call him to tell him anything. So, you just kind of lose contact now, all right? But the incident with Tamara is that the person that did it, he never used to show any violent tendencies. He just started to act like he had a different personality. He started asking outrageous questions that didn't make any sense.
So the question, which is this morning, this morning, he started to act violently towards you, and you ran.
This morning, no, that was last night.
Sorry.
He wasn't violent, He was insinuating that I doing things. Like he was scrutinizing her blood people. And saying things like why his name not on her big people, why it have different names on.
Well, stop right there. Now, I don't know if you're listening now. Come on, break it down. Who know it? Come on now. Go ahead.
If I may, sir. He probably was seeing exactly what the father seen, and he started to probably now, like you got some hoish tendencies, and she's saying he's changed to a different person. And really, he probably seeing her for who she is.
Well, okay. The dude asked her. You're right. The dude asked her. The reporter asked her how long they've been together.
Right.
What was her answer?
2 years.
No.
4 years. So like it's 4 years.
4. Not to buy an answer what? 4 years. The child is 4 years old. Then he say, "How is my name not on the birth paper?"
Okay.
You all understand?
Yeah.
We don't know who the child's father is, Ak.
Right.
You understand what's going on? No, this nigga locked up. Brother, I'm trying to tell you, he probably might make the weekend back. Right or wrong, Swap? This is Trinidad.
Yeah. Because like I said, that basically wait is because now it's like you can never survive if you interfere or do anything or bring harm to a child inside of it. That's the reality, right?
Yep.
That's the reality.
And tomorrow's a holiday, right?
Today, Salaki.
Today is the holiday, so he might be gone already. Go ahead.
I was about to say, because the whole thing, like, maybe 4 years old, the one who think he the father, he never met the guy who thinks he's the father.
Well, up to this point,
right?
Nobody knows that guy thinks he's the father. Everybody thinks that guy is the new boyfriend.
He said, "How come my name is not on the birth certificate?"
That's what she's saying there. No, she can't keep the shit together because she never ever thought, keep some eyes out there, she never ever thought that she could leave and come back and he would do that to the child. Now, I'm not making an excuse for the dude to do that to a child. You whatever you got coming, you got to deal with that shit. But what could drive a person to do that is that child is not even his. You understand? And she's pumping his head up like the child is his. And he's come to find out now that child ain't his. Why else would you? Are you dumb? You came after. You asking why your name not on the paper? That's not what happened. And if you're not able to call out what really happened, you're gonna miss it. She hoed, and the hoeing implicates some people, and this child is dead now. Go ahead.
That was really all making sense because she wouldn't even accept clothes and money for the child
from the other guy.
Because if she did, the beheader would be like, "Why is this dude dropping?"
Which any man would do. Right. Any man would say, because that's emasculating. You have a man, next man to come help you. That's emasculating. So now it's starting to unravel what it is really happening. Which is why I say, without the truth, you would just pick an Israelite and hate them. This is the white man. This is all his problem. This is all his problem, and he gonna pay for all of this shit right here. But we're gonna deal with the dysfunction amongst us. Keep going.
4 years now.
He would be 4 years. That's not how he know.
Right, you could skip past a little bit of showing the baby. She confessed. She says 4 years. But meanwhile, she was saying she got with him after the other dude left. Right, keep going.
You know, because it was so outrageous and it happened so sudden that I was in shock. I didn't know what to think. So I think I could probably just talk to him and he might snap back. But he just keeps showing the tendencies of, I don't know, like he was starting to use it, I guess.
And where you got the blade from?
Well, we have a cutlass in the house and knives and all that, so he probably get it from inside.
So you weren't there when he chopped the child?
No, when I escaped from his grip, I ran down into the police station.
Yeah, the police station is just about a couple of minutes from here.
Yeah, so when I reached down in the station now, I must probably wait about 10 minutes before we come back up the road.
Yeah.
And when I came back with the cops, she was
Oh God. So you saw the body?
Well, I asked one of the officers when they detained him. I asked one of the officers if I could go and check on my daughter, and they allowed me to go inside. And when I walked in, as I stepped in the room,
you saw the child body?
No, I didn't see her body initially as I walked in. I saw blood on the floor, smeared on the floor and on the walls. And when I looked into the other room, that's when I saw my daughter on the ground, lying down on her stomach with her hands up and no head. When I first saw the body, I didn't believe that she didn't have a head on her body. So I had to take a second look. Yeah, I was in disbelief. I had to take a second look to make sure that it don't have a head on the body. And when I noticed the head not on the body is when I tripped off and started to scream and I ran outside and I let the officers know. He just mutilated my daughter. He now cut off she head. I was in shock.
I know you're in shock.
It's the first.
You play games. You played games, and that didn't have to happen. You played absolute games. Pause it right there. We're gonna get some more. Give me the scripture in Proverbs with where she wiped her mouth and say she did nothing wrong. Right? Where she wiped her mouth and say she did nothing wrong. All right. This here is a total mess. It's an absolute mess. And okay, as time goes on, you're going to hear more about the actual story. You're going to hear more about the actual story. The root of this thing lies in the dysfunction. It lies in hoeing and the culture and the accepted culture of hoeing. And the dysfunction of you now trying to have this blend. They have a name for it. They call it a blended family. The fuck is that bullshit? ended and we co-parenting and all. What are we talking about?
Right.
No. That should have stopped. There got to be an end to that. That thing has to stop. The thing has to stop. Men gonna have to start to raise their standards. And she got kids, man. Let her be.
Right.
Let her be. Find out about the father. If you're not in the situation, you don't have to go into the situation. You could find out about the father, direct her back there, let her handle that shit separately. Don't do that. Don't do that thing at all. Let's start to rebuild a society where she's more responsible of who she opens her legs to. And that comes from getting permission to do it. And of course, he is now able and allowed and being taught to have authority and be masculine so he can rule his house well. And them children could grow up seeing their father and their mother and not have to be forced to cultivate love for somebody who they don't even goddamn know.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. All right, give me some more. Go ahead, what do you have?
The scripture one in Proverbs.
All right, hold on to it for me. Keep going. What minute we have?
6:04.
All right, we're almost done.
He ever display any violence towards me or Amara? First time.
Let me ask you something. You think that what he did was just
They showing the baby again. So from time to time he shows the baby because of course he's a reporter. He like an inside edition type nigga down there where he invoking
Smile.
Like, that's the baby, right? Who just saw him thing there?
he just did it out of anger, like he just tripped. But he doesn't have that kind of tendency.
Mr. Allen, honestly speaking, I can't answer that question because I don't know what this man was thinking.
He deserves to be hung?
Yes.
To be hung?
Yes.
He deserves to be hung.
But
she gladly hoeing, pole hopping, or whatever you want to call it. And she don't deserve to be hung. He does. He does though. She destroyed 2 men and a child.
Right.
So like, I don't know if somebody already said this, but like one of the things that kind of come to mind is like if you don't have these tendencies, like I would begin to question like what would make you, go that far.
But that's what they're questioning, and they're asking. That's what the police is trying to figure out what happened. Right now, they don't believe that he didn't have them tendencies. They believe the public is believing that he probably was abusive before, because of the typical abusive relationship where the woman is, she gonna take it and that's that. That ain't what's been happening here. You get the point? That's not what's been happening here is hoeing. Absolute hoeing.
that will be too easy for him. I want him to suffer. Like how Amara suffered when he was mutilating her. I want him to suffer.
You're absolutely right there.
Old man and suffering still.
He's definitely right. You lose the plot so bad that this child had to pay. Yeah, you gonna have to pay for that. Yeah, the mother is evil as hell, but you gonna have to pay for that shit.
That's right.
Which again, you gonna have to choose better who you decide to lay with.
Right.
And nigga, if it is that you go with her and you knowing she has a child with somebody else and you knowingly go and deal with it, if you're not equipped to deal with that thing, she's going to destroy you too. You get the point? She's going to destroy you, and you're not going to have, you're not going to have any power in the situation. She's going to have the power in the situation. You get the point? Now, added to that, this sister here, just from the talking and how, you could look at her and tell, she done has some issues prior to all of this. She has some problems that's going on that she's not there. She's not all the way there. And really, she need that type of authority figure to even function. She need that type, like that first one with the glasses. It seemed like his spirit was more the one that she should have cleaved to. You get the point? She'd have held on to him because he'd have kept it straight. She didn't want to do that because she wanted to do her own thing or been doing her own thing and went to somebody who is probably just as unstable as she is. Keep going. right? And again, what I'm describing here, this is normal in the Black and Hispanic community. This is just an extreme case of the normalcy. What it usually looks like is a child just reclusive, started painting their fingernails black, started to get high because of some molestation or some assault or some abuse that's been going on that nobody is looking at because everybody just happy fulfilling their own lust and not really looking after the child that needs to be looked after. Keep going.
You understand? That can bring back my baby. So we might as well just suffer. Yeah.
You ever imagine anything like this would have ever happened to you?
Mr. Allen?
You know?
Mr.
I
Allen?
know September you were supposed to send her to school.
No, well, actually, I wanted to send her to school.
Skip
this
ahead a
term
little
as
bit.
school return on this. But they said they couldn't.
They couldn't
Help me.
Okay.
Yeah, they
They
gave me
couldn't help you?
they gave me a pamphlet
A
to tell
pamphlet.
me how to apply for the food card. And
You know, I got you.
no, I never really
Yeah, when they
bothered
go
to
down
go
here.
back there,
Yeah.
because the
How old are you?
way I get treated there, it was like
Yeah.
waste of time.
Waste of
Dre.
time.
I'm
How old are
40. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And the gentleman, the
He
individual,
was 39.
39. So you'll have just known each other 4 years.
Oh yeah.
Do you think you blame yourself to an extent that because of getting in?
This is the heavy part here, right? This is the crux of this situation and most other situations that you're gonna hear about. He's asking her, do you blame yourself for what happened? Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to take the blame because I got involved with them. I mean,
But he never displayed no violent tendencies.
No.
Never.
mm-mm.
Was he on a
towards
substance?
not towards us. No.
Marijuana.
Mm-mm. Well, yeah, he smoked marijuana. He
Yeah.
smoked cigarettes, but
Stop
that
right
wasn't
there.
even-
He gets high. She chose a man who got high. All you weed smokers and marijuana smokers and cannabis and 420, all that nonsense, that helped kill this child. That helped kill this child. She went and got a drug addict. Keep going.
drink.
Like cocaine and
No.
Yeah.
He never used to drink rum. Nothing. He didn't like alcohol. All he used to do was smoke weed and smoke, cigarettes. That's it. That's why it's such a shock.
What word of advice do you have for, because I don't want to take you down that road too much about your daughter. I think that you're already going through, so I don't want to keep recollecting and telling me. But what word of advice you will have for single mothers out there who have intentions of pursuing relationship with persons?
Yeah.
She about to answer the question. He asked her what would she say to anybody who in this situation going forward. And it's unbelievable what she's about to say. Anybody think they know what she's about to say? Play that. This is absolutely unbelievable.
And now fall in love with a man and think that they want to start a new life. What word of advice you will have for them is?
Don't. You can't trust nobody. You can't trust nobody. Because if they ain't doing it in the light for you to see, they're going to do it in the dark. And then eventually, later on in life, you're going to find out what this person was doing to your child. So don't. If you could stay with the father, do that. Stick it out. Don't leave the father and go with somebody else. Especially if you have young children. You work, see about your children. If your children get big
Do you
enough,
work?
But I was a housewife at the time. My hairdresser by trade.
You sound like a very educated person.
He keep cutting her off. But she said, if you could help it, stay with the father of that child. If you can help it, stay and work it out and tough it out. I think that's the word she said. Pull it back, right? Pull it back just a little bit. Come on.
She's not as retarded as I thought she was.
Listen, that's what I was trying to get. I communicated with a couple of brothers in Trinidad down there about it, just to get a little vibe of what people in the world are saying. And they're saying, something wrong with her. She retarded. I was like, I don't think she's like that. I think she's beat down. She's absolutely beat down. She's given up on life.
Right.
And she just went with somebody who equally gave up on life and just getting high all the time.
Right.
And it's like a perpetual state of depression. And I'm not making an example for what, not an example, excuse for what they're going through. But I want everybody to understand what it is they're really going through. But she learned a hard lesson that she did not have to learn. She did not have to learn that lesson. Go ahead.
See about your children. If your children get big
Do you
enough,
work?
but I was a housewife.
Skip back.
They're gonna do it in the dark.
And one child, I'm gonna now fall in love with a man and think that they want to start a new life. What word of advice you will have for them is?
Don't. You can't trust nobody. You can't trust nobody.
No, you can't trust anyone.
If they ain't doing it,
because you can't trust yourself. Right. You would let yourself go with anybody. Like she's saying this here, like if nothing's wrong. Give me the scripture now. Give me that whichever one you hold.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Mm-hmm.
She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness.
Say it one more time.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Mm-hmm.
She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness.
That's what she's saying there. She's saying he had to be hung. You know, you can't trust nobody as if she didn't hold. Right. This is an adulterous woman. And point number one, brothers, you need to stay far from an adulterous woman. You have to stay far. Stay far from her. Don't be so goddamn thirsty.
Right.
Chill. Life is very long and all. Life is, you know, it ain't a month and your life is gonna be over. Relax. Go turn your gaze somewhere else, just for a second. And it's very hard right now with this damn internet. It's hard to turn your gaze. Stay far from it. Right. Don't do it. It's just, you know, stay far from it. Take your time and you choose. Keep going.
To see, they're gonna do it in the dark, and then eventually later on in life, you're gonna find out what this person was doing to your child. So don't. If you could stay with the father, do that. Stick it out. Don't leave the father and go with somebody else. Especially if you have young children. You work, see about your children. If your children get big enough.
Work?
But I was a housewife at the time.
Right, she said, stick it out. Stay with the father. Stay with the father if you can. Stay with the father. This whole thing is symptoms of dysfunction that's in the black community. You want to stop this right here. All you got to do is, first, of course, you got to find the UPK. You got to find the UPK so you could get put properly taught and directed with some kind of perfection now, where certain things you don't do. You're not getting involved with. You're not getting seduced by. They all got seduced by freedom and rebellion. Freedom and rebellion. That's really, pushed by the oppressor. Right. The oppressor gives that outlet of she can now leave, you take your kids, go have somebody else, and you don't have power over it, and it's absolutely dysfunctional. All right, so now let's get some more. So now we unpack the whole thing. You see where the problem started. She had some whole tendencies. There's no father involved. At this point, we don't know who the father is. They say he's the father, but she just said 4 years she was with this dude, and he's asking about why his name not on the birth paper. He asked about that last night. Not last night, Monday night. He's asking about why is my name not on this birth paper? And she said he accusing her of certain I forget the word she used. Certain type of behaviors. Why get mixed up in all of that? Go ahead, Bukwash.
So if I could, her father seen how the way she was and told
the guy, listen, man, she done, and he said she go back with the ex. Now I don't know who the ex is. Is the ex that dude? You get the point? And the father is telling him, stay away. And that other one who was there first, it seemed like he really, wanted to get down with it. The problem is it's too much of fluid freedom. It's too much of fluid freedom where you think you could just plop down and go start and restart, and that can't happen. You're gonna have to know. First off, brothers had to definitely get strong with the thing. Right. You definitely have to get strong. Give me the Bible. Give me go to the father with the dowry. All right, let's get that first. All right, let's get going to the father with the dowry. We already get the sex is marriage. That's one part of it. That sex is marriage has got to tie you to something. It's got to let you know that, listen, now you married to this man. Now I'm married to this woman. And this is for life. This is forever. Now, if you don't want to be tied to this person forever, you're going to have to keep your legs closed. You're going to have to not want to have sex with anybody you see. You're not going to want to have sex with him just because he's nice and cute and whatever you think is, makes him eligible. That's not your that's not how you measure it. Somebody has to measure that thing for you. Who has it? Go ahead.
Book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
Right. Skip me up a little bit. Give me the other one with the tokens of virginity. Go ahead. Just skip me up 2 verses.
Book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 15. But if the owner thereof be wicked, he shall not make it good.
Let's go down a little bit more.
Verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Right, we read that earlier. Right, that's marriage according to the Bible. Marriage is not a ring. It's not, rice and church and justice of the peace. Marriage is sex. That thing you do in the courthouse or in the church is a license, like going to get a car license or a license to drive a forklift. That's all that is. It's permission to do something. But marriage, according to God, is sex is marriage. Right? Go ahead, bro.
The tokens of virginity, that was
Is it in the same chapter? No, I want that after. I want this. Hold that for me. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
Right? According to the dowry of virgins. The dowry of virgins is what? It's an agreed price that a man would pay to a girl's father if he wants to now have sex with this man's daughter. If he wants to now take this man's daughter unto him as a wife, he has to go to the father and have an agreement, have a dowry, come to an agreement of a dowry, which is a certain sum of money that you would pay to this father as compensation because you're taking from him, about 20 years of him molding and correcting and raising this girl up and teaching her skills that she would now use in his house. Now you taking her for yours. And what he's supposed to do in his age, just be without. And now he had to go, whatever she was doing for him, he had to go do that. No, you had to compensate him. And you had to talk to him about it. And that puts certain things in perspective, where a woman now understands that she is under power. She has an authority. And she can't make movements without her father. But of course, the oppressor done destroyed our homes. So most homes, the father is not there, and if he's there, he's not operating with authority like he should. He doesn't have that space. That's the first thing, because now this father has to vet this person, has to vet this man, and in vetting the man, he gets to know him, and he decides now, yeah, this is a good match for my daughter, or y'all shouldn't marry. Now, if he says yes, and they do get married and they start having problems, like how she says she had issues with the brother's bad tendencies, she has a course of action. Now she could go to the father or whoever said he was okay. Other people get involved. It doesn't have to end up like this. It ends up like this because nobody else is involved. And the people who should be there bringing some sort of sense and stability to it, they're pushing who they think is the father away, which is antichrist. It's satanic. What should happen is her father would have approved that thing for her to marry this brother. They would have had problems. She would have went back home and cried on daddy. Daddy would have called the brother over, or the brother sometimes he go call the father and say, listen, man, what's going on? She doing this, she doing that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's what she doing? Nah, man, this is how you handle that. I know how it is because She used to do that all the time. She playing it. Don't worry, handle it like this. Go ahead.
That's what happened in the story that you brought out earlier about Judges. Judges.
When she went to the father, well, not exactly like that, because she hold on the brother. You know, she hold on the brother, but she went to the father, and the father was in. You know, that's his son-in-law. And that, once again, the culture we have, it's perfect for building a family, right? It's perfect for building a nation. I don't even like to say building a family. I hate the word family, man. That shit is so American. We ain't family men. We men with families. Just get it straight. We're not family men. What the fuck is that shit? We men with families. You get the point? And it has to be like that because of what America tells you a family man is. And that's not what's up in here. We are men who have families. You get the point? The Bible, the culture we have is the perfect way for it. It's absolutely perfect because now there's more people involved with y'all. Marriages today fall apart. Why? Because it's not enough people involved, not enough people invested in this thing. You get the point? If you have a business and only 2 people invested, what could you all stand? One person gets sick, business had to close. If there's 10 people invested in it, you all could withstand more. Marriage is in here, brother. So many people, there's no marriage in secret. There's none of that shit happens. Right. So many people invested in this shit. You decide you tired of her. Somebody gonna ask you a question. She decides she tired of you. It's like, bitch, what are you doing? There's people who's now going to, and that type of what Esau calls peer pressure. That's societal responsibility, that obligation to society. It's healthy. It's healthy. You don't try to disrespect it and say you got to be your own person and you don't want to be sheep people. No, nigga, be a sheep. Be sheep people. They want you to be individual and think for yourself. For what? Why? You should have some sort of obligation to the group. And that helps you with your decision making. I can't do this because, man, all of that ain't gonna be right. I can't do that because all of this ain't gonna be right. If they had that type of obligation to the society there, somebody would have told her, listen, man, you hoeing. I don't think she heard it yet. I don't think anybody, maybe the father told her, but something went totally awry there. And now some little 4-year-old girl is dead because you just went off and married whoever the hell you want to marry. That thing can't happen. Brothers, you're going to have to choose better. Sisters, you're going to have to let somebody choose for you because you are absolutely clueless about life. Go ahead.
I always heard in life, because I didn't go to church. My family didn't go to church. I always heard in life, what you do, it doesn't just affect you, you hurting other people. But in that church, they forever saying you got a personal relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? To make you decide everything on yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
To make you now think that what you feeling it must be from God because you're feeling strong. And God is telling me not to stay in this situation no more. God is telling me not to do this, to do that, to do the other. This sister here, she needs more help than she thinks. She needs way more help than she thinks. She's not capable of deciding who should rule over her. She's not capable of doing that. A woman choosing a husband is like people voting for Biden. And this is no disrespect to sisters. You're not capable of knowing what's right for you for one main reason. What's right for you doesn't feel good. Right or wrong? Sisters, you're all in here. What works and what's right for you? It's like medicine. Old school medicine tastes absolutely horrible. All that new medicine, cherry grape, Tylenol and shit. You know what I mean? I got some kids. First time I put on a little cherry grape shit, they wanted to drink the whole bottle because the shit tastes good. I ain't used to medicine being like that. So if you know what I'm talking about, you go get a bush tea. We have something called bush tea, and it grows wild. You get that cough, you just go grab that outside, you boil that shit. I'm telling you straight up and down. You drink that shit the next week straight up. I ain't lying to you. There's, but it don't taste good. It's horrible. But the shit would work. But that's what medicine is. For a woman, pleasure is your weakness. If you enjoying the shit a little too much, give it a second look. That's what I'm telling you. If this ride is good, woo, yeah, we having fun, girl. You might want to check. You might want to check it out. You might want to, see what's really going on, because that pleasure is going to make you not be able to see things clearly. A man, he's not as prone to pleasure. He's not as prone to, carnal stimulations as much. He's not so much there to the point where it affects his judgment as much, right? Men are less like that, less, sensual. So he could now make logical decisions. You cannot decide who rules over you. Somebody has to decide that for you. That should be your father. If you don't have a father, you better find a father figure who can tell you who is right and wrong for you. In this situation here, she went and had men on her own and couldn't choose one, didn't know who the baby's father was, or probably did. Who the hell knows? Keep them away from each other. And this child here is now dead because of it. That dysfunction absolutely has to stop. That next generation has to come up knowing a woman's sex is marriage. Let me choose that man for you. Don't go opening your legs to just any and anybody. Wait. A man has to understand his responsibility as a man. He's going to have to make hard decisions. He's going to have to make decisions people don't like. He's going to have to be the bad guy. Nobody likes not being liked, but that's the job of a man. That's why you're a man. That's why you're masculine. That's why you got testosterone. If all you want to be liked and loved so much, you're compromising yourself. You're going to end up making bad decisions because of your drive to be liked. Because sometimes, majority of times, what's right is not what everybody gonna like.
It's kind of hard to believe that the father already knowing she was messing with the ex. Like he told him, but it's hard to believe that he didn't even try to tell her beforehand. Like,
what do you mean?
Stop messing around.
He probably did.
And she ain't listen.
Oh, do they ever? Salakia, no disrespect. But brother, you ought to understand the world we live in. The world we live in pumps a woman's confidence up so much. You understand what I'm saying? It pumps her confidence up so much. She doesn't have a doubt. Like, for a woman, she would think of it and be like, I could do it. A man he gonna get the idea and be like, shit ain't gonna work. And you start to say it ain't gonna work because of XYZ, XYZ. A sister, she feels it. If her feelings is involved now, so is it gonna work? It's got to work, and that's just it. Come on.
I was gonna say, like, in a similar scenario, I was some sister that was disagreeing with the whole multiple wives thing. I put her in the corner of the day, and she was against the whole multiple wives thing. And I asked her, like, okay, she said, why can't women have multiple men?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, like, do you see yourself taking care of multiple children from multiple men, cooking for multiple families, cooking, catering to multiple men? Like, do you see yourself doing that job for 5 different men? Do you think you can do that? I said, men. I said, even as young boys, I mean, it's a lot of we was all, middle school, high school, but we've been doing it since we was in middle school, dealing with, different little girls, all that above, high school, all that above. So she said, she paused and was like, nah, I don't think I could do that job of a woman to a man for multiple men, even though she was against it. By the end of that scenario, she understood, like, she can't take care of multiple men.
She can't even take care of one man. Because you didn't ask her about having sex with multiple men. You ask her about cooking for multiple men. You understand what I'm saying? This woman she's the only girl and she has 5 brothers. She cooking for the family. She says she can't see herself doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Brother, we operating from a certain point of dysfunction. It absolutely has to change. And it's going to come up, the change is going to come about with men. You want to fix the black household, you have to fix black men and put black men in authority. Everything will start to fall into place from there. From there, things going to start to fall into place. But for sure, brother, without you being there, piloting that ship, handling situations, doing things right and in order and how the Lord wants it done, this thing here is going to happen. This child dead as a doornail. And I'm telling you, Trinidad is incapable of dealing with it. It's incapable of dealing with it. There'll be no justice really rendered. Shit is just going to be forgotten. They're going to have carnival next year. They're going to do whatever else. And nobody will stop doing what they're doing today, which is hoeing and adultery. All the music is about adultery. Every love song is about adultery. Every love song is about somebody's woman, some other man's woman. And women are cool with it because why? Hoeing is acceptable. Go ahead.
I got to say, I was telling Officer Kazak last night. It's a song, most popular songs that seem to be on the radio right now. The dude is like, is you up right now? Is you drunk right now? And she like, oh, you know I got a man. And then he don't care. You know what I'm saying? She said, I don't care. Come outside. But you know I got him. She ain't saying no.
No. For what? Why would she say no? I don't understand. There's nothing that stops a woman today, ever. Why would she say no? There's no consequence.
That's right.
Right or wrong, sisters? You'll tell me the truth. There's no consequence. She has 4 kids. She's going to get a man. They cut the lights off in the house. She go down there crying. They're going to turn it back on. She goes to the court after, City Girls up by 1,000 Miami trip of 10 million abortions. Go to the court. The judge is going to say the child needs to be the mother. Why would she say no to anything, Ark? There's no repercussions. There's none. She has a man. She goes out with the other dude. When her man finds out, what happens? What happens when the actual man finds out?
Pretty much nothing. He gonna end up getting kicked out the house.
No, he gonna have a beef with the new nigga. And they're gonna begin to have Olympic Games to compete for her love. Why should she say no?
Exactly.
I mean, it don't make sense to even say no. Like, logically speaking, it don't make sense. And they over there competing, and then she goes elsewhere. And then somebody, why is my name not on this birth certificate? And now it all falls down. And now she wants justice, of course. It's absolutely ridiculous. The shit absolutely has to stop. The culture has to change.
Right.
The beginning of the culture changing is the white man is the devil.
That's right.
That's the first thing. And his way, his life is not good for us.
Right.
It's never been good for us. We can't continue to do it. He says marriage is a ring. You have to turn away from that. Marriage is sex. Sex is marriage. Who you're having sex with, that's it. You get the point? That's the end all and be all.
Right.
Brother, you find out she's a hoe, walk away. Leave her be. Leave her be. A lot of these paper marriages go right back into the thing. You find out she's a hoe and you can't get out of it. She's gonna take the house, you're gonna lose the kids. It's ridiculous. The thing has to stop, Ark.
Right.
The thing has to stop. She tell you they've been together 4 years. The other dude think he's the father. The child died on her watch. And she's just there like she ain't did nothing wrong, even though she did come in the end and say, well, it's my fault. I got with him. You should stay with the child's father. You should just stay with whoever the father is. That's a hard lesson to learn, Ark. That's a very, very hard lesson to learn. I can't even imagine seeing a head separated from the child. Like, there's bombs going off in Gaza. That's where that happens. But you telling me in an island that people say this paradise and sun, sea, and sand. This child in C5? Come on.
And I was noticing when she was standing in the background, she couldn't look at dude in the eye.
She can look at nobody in the eye. She's not there. And more than likely, she's still in shock. Now, regardless of her hoish ways, she still just suffered a loss and all. She's not processed the thing. And of course, she knows she's culpable in it. So she's like, because she almost broke that when she described the thing with the scene with the head, if you go watch the video again, she started to break down. Like she in shock. She's in absolute shock, which is once again, it's a whole mess. But now, who's really to blame? This is the oppressor's fault.
Right.
This is the oppressor's fault. You got to separate from him and not choose his ways, because that shit is not good for anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? With that, we pass the class over to Precinct Officer Shapat. All right.
ISUPK security announcements. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior Harlem. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ishu. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, the Lord's 55th annual Passover in Durham, North Carolina, on April the 20th. That's the week of April the 18th to April the 21st. It's $200 for everybody 17, 8 years of age and older. The $200 for everything, all included, from the start of the land, the black party, the kids laser tag party, the Jeremiah scripture breakdown,
right.
The Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. This is not just for the Passover. That $200, Commander Junior Hunter made sure that's for the whole week.
That's right.